On this latest edition of DWZ discussion, as you know, tensions are now high as we await for the upcoming match between Saya Kamitani and Tam Nakano. The Cosmic Angels are holding together knowing that their fearless leader could have their last match. So on today's video, we will discuss about the Cosmic Angels, about how they are successful after 4 years. As you know, there's been changes with the current membership, with betrayals, people departing, forming their own units, whatnot, and of course, the trials, the tribulations, the ups and downs that they suffered with everything going on in their lives. But of course, they always have one thing in common. It's all about the sharing the dreams with their friends and sharing it together, knowing they reached their goals. And they have reached their goals in many ways. But however, one goal is, of course, is for their fearless leader not to Cosmic leave Stardom due to the fact that they need their precious leader to keep it together. But however, how did the Cosmic Angels made it this far after 4 years? As you probably remember, they recently won for Best Unit by the Mobile Weekly Pro Wrestling. For the fourth time, of course, is unprecedented, which is also amazing. But at the same time, while they won that award, they even won Best Unit in the Stardom Awards, which was a huge crowning achievement that the Cosmic Angels finally reached. So, but also I want to point out the current membership of the Cosmic Angels is the best one so far. I don't know if anybody would agree with me because I'm a big fan of the Cosmic Angels. I've seen every match, every storyline, everything. So we're going to go from everything from every members who's been in the group, past and present. And of course, talk about their some the things that went on in their entire lives, and we'll get through all of it. So let's get ready for another DWZ discussions. Hey everyone, welcome to DWZ Discussion, where we do discussions about various topics in the world of pro wrestling, such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. I am your host, J Rod here. So if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling content, such as reviewing various promotions, not only here in the United States, such as AEW, NXT, TNA, but also promotions in Japan, such as New Japan Pro Wrestling, Noah, and various other locations that is not big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do uh, news updates to keep you guys updated on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. We also, of course, got news update alerts to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. And we also got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this video, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all pleasantries have been said. Now, the story is about the Cosmic Angels. As you know, they made it this far in their careers with their ups and downs, heartbreaks, betrayals, however you want to proceed it. But one thing in mind, they able to make it on top no matter what it took. with their hard determination, proving people wrong, and also the love and friendship they developed together, no matter what other units and fans would say. And now, how did this all happen? Let's begin with the beginning of the genesis of Cosmic Angels with their fearless leader, Tam Nakano. Okay, Tam Nakano. Many of you know her for a long time, but those who don't, let me give you a brief bio on her. Uh, Tam Nakano, as you probably don't know, she used to be part of an underground idol group that was around for a while, and she also taught music in some schools and all this and that. However, when the underground idol disbanded, she didn't know how to repay her fan base, but someone suggested pro wrestling. However, she already performed with in a pro wrestling show. She had a very different perspective. But however, a fan suggested why not watch a women's wrestling show, which of course she did. So she took a chance to it, and she ended up working with at-risk girls, as you probably know, and that's how she met, of course, two people from her who are currently part of the Cosmic Angels, Sayuri Anu and of course Natsupo, who at the time was known as Natsumi Maki. But however, she was trained by, of course, Yuna Manase, who's well recognized as, of course, a wrestling instructor, training many wrestlers, including two of the current members of the Cosmic Angels, including Unagi, um, Tai Hamna, Michael Zaki, and various others. Now, Tam Nakano made her official wrestling debut on July 18, 2016. However, she made the choice to leave At Risk Girls to follow her dreams. She was even involved in death matches in the Onita farewell tour, which the guy from the FW FMW, the Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling. So she did all that. However, she made her appearance in Stardom in 2017, not as a full-blown member, but however, during when she first arrived, she was asked to join Oedo Tai. However, she was unable to perform well in the ring until she was convinced by Kagetsu, or now known as Yu Ushino, to try manager for a while until she was ready to get back as a wrestler. But however, it was on that very same year in November of 2017, it was later revealed that she is officially a member of the Stardom roster. But however, things were cut short after that when she was signed. In 2018, Oedo Tai were in a bit of a war against Queen's Quest, which has the stipulation on who will be the last person to be eliminated to be expelled. And unfortunately, Momo Watanabe was the one who issued that against Tam Nakano. And of course, Io Sky, who was at the time the leader of Queen's Quest, offered Tam to join, but however, it was Mai Iwatani who came around and saved her and opened her arm to join what later becomes Stars. At the early time, it was Stardom. Now, of course, Tam made the choice to side, and she would do anything to show her gratitude. But during that time in Stars, Tam Nakano was been disrespected. People were calling her the sidekick of Stars. And of course, she tried to win the affection of Mayu Itani, but unfortunately, Mayu's been ignoring her since then. But until then, some things have developed in her career when she met Arisa Hoshiki, who in fact joined Stars. Later, Tam and her develop some sort of a rivalry, then a friendship when they form a tag team known as Sunshine Dream. And Sunshine Dream on that very year in 2020, they in fact won Tag League, but they were never able to successful winning the tag belts. But unfortunately, on that very same year, a very interesting development took place. Arisa Hoshiki out of nowhere announced her retirement due to poor health issue, so she had to vacate the white belt. Tam Nakano at the time, of course, made a promise that she'll pursue that belt, but however, someone else also made a play for that belt. Many of you guys know her. She is the current NXT Women's Champion, Julia. So yes, Julia, as you know, won the Cinderella tournament on that very same year, but she also proceeded for the white belt. Tam was unsuccessful to obtain it, but she did manage to try again in October of 2020, but unfortunately this was the last straw for her. She felt been declared as a psychic long enough by many fans, so she decided to times they needed change. And that happened when she met, let's enter, Mina Shirakawa. Mina Shirakawa. Now, let's talk a little bit about Mina Shirakawa's background. Many of you may or may not know this. Mina Shirakawa was a gravure model. So basically, she was well aware that she had a sexy body throughout the time. She even served as a valet. She appeared in movies. She had tried rapping. You can say that she has done it all. However, wrestling was something she never done before until she attended a New Japan show that features her favorite wrestler that inspired her. That is none other than legend himself, Yushin Thunder Liger. So Mina in debut in her in ring in August of 2018, but she was part of the promotion known as Best Body Japan Pro Wrestling, which is a very different feel, and of course she was the first ever women's champion. But she appeared as a freelancer throughout the entirety of her career before making the stardom. She even appeared in Tokyo Show Pro Wrestling, where she also met someone there who we will talk about later. Now, what is it about? Why did Mina Shirakawa make their choice? She thought that maybe it was time for her to move on to her next logical step, which is joining Stardom. She made her debut on October of 2020 against Hanan, which she won. However, the following day, that's when she met, of course, Tam Nakano. Tam Nakano, of course, took an interest in her, and they had their wrestling match on October 4th. But unfortunately, Tam did pick up the win when she defeated her with the Twilight Dream. And of course, she asked her why did she came to Stardom. She revealed that she wants to be a real fighting Greveneur H or something like that. So Tam was impressed by her that that was the answer she wanted to hear. So she told her, let's team up for Tag League, which she did. Their tag name was at the time known as Dream H. Now, they were never a successful team, just to put it on record. But however, during Tag League, of course, Tam Nakano asked Mayu Iwatani if it was okay for her to join Stars, which of course she gladly chose. But unaware to Mayu, it appears that Tam Nakano had other plans, which resulted of Tam to ask Mina Shirakawa if she trusted her. However, that's exactly what happened. Apparently, there was going to be a very shift change that I don't think Mayu Iwatani, of course, saw it coming. But Mina, of course, stood by Tam Nakano's side no matter what. And that's when we enter Unagi Sayaka. Okay, like Mina, Unagi Sayaka also started late in her career as a wrestler in her 30s. Not to mention, she also did some Gravinier model before too. But she also is very athletic as a synchronized swimmer. She's done certain things. She was also part of a band, but however, pro wrestling was something she's never done, and she did it. Much of her wrestling style is also a bit of an unorthodox. Much like Tam, she was also trained by Manaze, which she did. She even wrestled for Tokyo Show Pro Wrestling for quite some time. But at the time, she had a different name, but I cannot remember what she had. But until then, Unagi made the choice to leave Tokyo Show Pro Wrestling and signed up with, of course, with Stardom, which she debuted on November 14th, 2015, which of course led into a showdown within Star members consistent of Mayu Iwatani, Starlight Kid, and Gokigen Death, better known as now Fukigen, taking on Tam, Mina Shirakawa, and of course a mystery partner that they dubbed as ZZ, and then of course ZZ revealed to be Unagi Sayaka. Now, their debut match together as a trio showed a bit of an interest. Now, of course, Tam Nakano was the one who picked up the win, allowing for them to show who they were. And then, of course, that's when the Cosmic Angels were born. Okay, Cosmic Angels. Tam Nakano, the leader of the group. Mina Shirakawa served as the right hand to Tam, Unagi Sayaka. bit of a follower, but she's a bit of a hothead, in case anybody asks. Together, they became an unstoppable force, but at the same time, they were, to me, in my opinion, the ultimate underdogs. Many people thought of them as a joke, that they will never reach the top. However, they proved people wrong when they were the most dominating trio group in Stardom. They were the only team that did not have, of course, the necessary membership that they needed. However, their biggest goal is to obtain, of course, the artist belts, the trios championship. And that's exactly what they did. So they stacked up win after win in trios matches until they finally got the opportunity. However, their undefeated streak was put into halt when they faced in Shinjuku face in December Stars, consisting of Maya Iwatani, Starlight Kid, and Saya Ida. However, this match ended with Stars defeating them, breaking their undefeated record. But however, during this time, Mayu Iwatani questions Tam's behavior. She cannot asking her, "Are you a heel or a face?" She cannot determine what is going on. But of course, Tam told her they just have to wait and see the find out for themselves. However, of course, their main focus has always been the artist belts, and that's exactly what they did on, of course, the in December of 2020, the Sendai Girls, of course, event. The Cosmic Angels defeated Oedo Tai at the time, the consistent of Natsuko Tora, B. Priestley, who later we knew her in WWE as Blair Davenport, and Saki Kashima, becoming, of course, the artist champs. However, we will talk more about that. But however, that's when another showdown has begun with Stars, when they decided to challenge them, okay, for the artist belts. But this time, instead, it was, of course, Mayu, Starlight Kid, and Gokigen Death in an elimination match. Now, there were people that talk about this match that they thought it was ridiculous the way it ended. It was Mina Shirakawa who picked up the win. Many people were banking it was going to be Tam, but it was Mina who did it herself when Tam and Unagi were limited throughout the entire match, but Tam Amina had to go on it on her own, and she resulted of winning the match. However, on that very same day during the post match, Tam Nakano made a surprising, shocking move where she announced that the Cosmic Angels will now go as an independent unit, which frustrated Mayu Iwatani, declaring Tam Nakano as her enemy. However, Starlight Kid reminded them that they're even though that they are the artist champions, they're not satisfied with the fact that they lost, but they do have a trumping card in their midst. If you guys remember, the Cosmic Angels were undefeated as a trios until they were stopped by Stars, consistent of Mayu, Starlight Kid, and Saya Ida. So basically, they decided to challenge them for the belt one last time. Unagi suggested, even though that this match will be nothing, they felt that they have to do it again to shut them up. However, that match was postponed for a couple of months due to the fact of certain situation that took place. On December 26, 2020, it was, of course, Mina Shirakawa's birthday. During a Stardom match in Shinjuku face, Cosmic Angels were in a match against, of course, uh, DDM, and resulted Mina Shirakawa was in fact had her nose broken, all thanks to Julia. So she was out for 2 months. But where did that lead Tam and Unagi? Well, Unagi decided to do the 7 series where she had to wrestle 7 Yoshi wrestlers throughout the entirety. But however, Tam made another attempt for the white belt. Julia was not too keen on it, so she decided, okay, I'll give you a title shot if you put your hair on the line, which Tam agreed. However, that match took place in March of 2021 for the All Star Cinderella Dream, but also revealed the return of Mina Shirakawa. Unagi and Mina were participating in a battle royale, which eventually they both lost. But it was Yuzuki Aikawa who actually won that one. But as for Tam, she had to put herself in the toughest position where she faces against Julia. In result, she could lose her hair. But Tam went all out on her, and so did Julia. And that resulted of Tam Nakano, of course, winning the white belt, but she refused to cut the hair of Julia, feeling like she was stealing something from her. But however, Julia would not forget this regardless of anything. Now, With all this success, there was more things that came around for the Cosmic Angels. Sayaida at the time was in fact the future champion, but due to an injury, she had to vacate her championship. Mina Shirakawa and Nagi, who were still in their 3 years of experience, qualified to enter. However, certain younger wrestlers find it a load of horse crap that two wrestlers who started late or in their 30s decided to challenge for the belt. But in the result of the finals, it became a showdown between between Mina Shirakawa and Unagi. But it was Mina who won that match, becoming the future champion. However, less than a month, Mina Shirakawa lost that championship to Unagi. But Unagi, of course, on the other hand, decided to defend the belt no matter what, despite that she had least experience. But many people question one thing about the Cosmic Angels. Despite the fact being a trios, were they ever going to expand? Well, that's when they introduced, of course, two members later on that would be part of the group. First is Mai Sakurai. All right. When it came to the Cosmic Angels, many people questioned where the Cosmic Angels will expand. However, there was one particular person that many people thought would be a perfect fit, and that would be, of course, Lady C. Now, Lady C, as you know, she was the only person who, at the time in November, made her debut in Stardom, but she was not part of any faction at the time. She was mostly independent until she found a suitable. She wouldn't fit into any unit until, of course, the start of 2022, I believe. However, of course, that's when we were introduced to Mai Sakurai. Now, Mai Sakurai, she came from, of course, the promotion At Risk Girls, just like Tam Nakano started. However, not much about her reasons why she left. It was later revealed that, of course, she was fired from the promotion, unclear why. But, of course, Mai Sakurai made her presence known, of course, informing the fan base that she'll be joining Stardom. However, she was, of course, interrupted by Unagi, who decided to assess her and put the future belt on the line, which she did. So, of course, the match happened. But, however, of course, after the match, Unagi was the one who picked up the win when she applied the flatliner, and just like that, it was over. But, however, Mai Sakurai made a very interesting request that she wanted to join Cosmic Angels. Unagi was miffed on that one. She wasn't too sure she was the perfect fit. However, it was Tam Nakano who said that they were willing to expand no matter what. She felt that this was the perfect time to add new members. Some people think that maybe this was not the right fit. However, she did fit in perfectly fine for a while. But however, of course, Mai Sakurai was able to join Tag League once again. Tam Nakano and Mina teamed up once again to form, of course, Dream H during Tag League, while Unagi and Mai Sakurai, of course, joined. So basically, it became a quartet for a short time. But however, the fifth member of the group was, of course, someone we loved so much, who was the adorable underdog of the Cosmic Angels, and that is, of course, Waka Tsukiyama. Okay, Waka Tsukiyama. Much like Mai Sakurai, Waka actually came from the promotion itself, At Risk Girls. Now, not much of course, of her reasons left, but later we did learn that somehow Waka knew that some things were becoming changed within the promotion. Now, of course, Waka, much like Mai Sakurai, was also assessed by Unagi, putting the future belt on the line, but also resulted of her losing the match as well. But however, she was also in that position much like Lady C, where she was in fact not affiliated. Now during the start before the start of Tag League, Waka in fact teamed up with Lady C to form what later their tag name known as Sea Moon, of course consistent of Lady C and Waka, who has like when she does a moon shape pose. But however, during the press conference, Tam Nakano, along with the rest of the Cosmic Angels, made a surprise appearance. Tam Nakano was extending an invitation to Waka to join the Cosmic Angels, but she was a perfect fit. Reason is this, that of course Waka and Mina, as you probably know, they both speak perfect English, so that's how they hit it off. But however, how will Tam Nakano? But however, Tam Nakano took a liking to Waka during a match. Of course, she had a basically not a fixation towards her, but more like a loving mother to a child, knowing that there was something special about her, which she did. But however, what does this mean for the Cosmic Angels moving forward? Well, let's talk about that as a unit once all the players have been fit. Okay, the Cosmic Angels. Despite of Waka and Mai Sakurai joining the faction, the unit itself, they were not bringing anything to the table just yet. But however, Mina Shirakawa, Tam Nakano, and Unagi were able successful to defend the artist belts for at least seventh defenses so far. However, they eventually lost those belts against Mai Pain, and then of course, little by little, Unagi lost the future belt to Uraka, who of course joined Oedo Tai at the time, and then finally, by the end of 2021, Tam Nakano lost the white belt, to Sayakami Tani, who eventually lost that match once before, and now she won it. But however, things did not go quite as they would expect. Over time, the Cosmic Angels had suffered losses, but during that time too, Mai Sakurai was viciously attacked by a silhouette figure. Nobody knows who it was. This happened, of course, during a dark match where she defeated Waka and she was viciously attacked. And then once again, during a three-way match, when it happened, and then two more masked figures in silhouettes attacked her too. It was still unclear what was going on with the attacks, but however, of course, um, later was revealed the attacks were orchestrated by Julia, someone from Tam Nakano's, of course, past, who was criticizing Tam for picking what she likes to call, and pardon my language, shitty recruits. So basically, she was thinking that made the poor judgment in recruiting these two. However, of course, it got fixated with Masakurai, who in fact was suffering losses as we go. And that's when Julia suggested that she's better off becoming a real wrestler, and that's exactly what she did. She felt that she did not want to do this anymore with the Cosmic Angels, and decided to, of course, ditch them to join DDM. And this also resulted for Waka when she was put on the spot when Julia declared her as Mai Sakurai's rival. But since then, the Cosmic Angels were suffering losses, mostly coming from Waka, who is still dealing with the traumatic effect. Tam Nakano, who played mother figure to her, of course, was able to try to keep her calm, and they did everything humanly possible. But however, they did manage to pick up some wins here. Amongst them was when they won a match where they feature, of course, Yoshin Thunder Liger in a doing commentary, which of course was a huge honor for Mina to wear the mask of Yoshin Thunder Liger. That was a good match that they had. But however, another match happened when, of course, they defeated DDM in a gauntlet match. But that's when they received an unexpected visit from a unit that later served now as a freelance unit. We're talking about Colors. Right. Who exactly are Colors? Those who may know who they are, thank God you guys are on the bandwagon. Those who don't, let me give you guys a brief story about the Colors. All consistent of Saki, who is the leader of the group. Then there's Hikari Shimizu, who is next month will be later on this month in March will be retiring. And then there's Yuko Sakurai, and then of course Rina Amikura. Colors eventually came from the promotion At Risk Girls, and there was a bit of a show called Colors. It's all about finding their true colors, more like a beginner's promotion. But however, there is a show called Beginners, so don't ask me what was the purpose of that. But it did result it. Now, however, in 2021, At Risk the management of At Risk Girls made the choice that they were planning to drop the pro wrestling style and move into entertainment, mostly like theater. Now they gave the option to the girls to either stay or they can leave. And of course, Saki, who is the de facto leader of Colors, made the choice to leave, but someone told her to continue on Colors as a freelance unit, and that's exactly what she did. Now, this group and faction appears in many promotions, such as Pro Wrestling Wave, Sendai, wherever they're being booked. However, after the Cosmic Angels defeated DDM in a gauntlet match, they made a surprise appearance, surprising the Cosmic Angels, telling them that they want to have a match against them, which they did. However, the decision was deciding how was it going to fit in. But Tam Nakano was looking for a way to include Waka into this. But unfortunately, that decision was halted when they announced it on a New Blood show where they decided to have this match on June 5th. However, Rina Mikura revealed that she's unable to participate due to another commitment outside of uh, Stardom and also in the mainland in Japan. So it became clear it was going to be a 3-on-3 between Colors and Cosmic Angels. Representing Colors, of course, is Saki Hikari Shimizu and Yuko Sakurai, taking on Tam Nakano, Mina Shirakawa, and Unagi Sayaka. Now, however, there was a stipulation that Tam Nakano put. The stipulation is the losing faction will join the winning faction. So that was something that was interesting. But let's talk about the match itself. You can tell that they have similarities between them. Both Colors and of course the Cosmic Angels. But however, it was the moment between Tam Nakano and Hikari Shimizu that made the difference. Those who don't know, Hikari Shimizu in fact admired Tam for years. Those who may know this or not, it was Tam Nakano who was Hikari Shimizu's debut opponent. In the moment, it was more like for Tam telling her, "Come on, Hikari Shimizu, show me what you got. Show me how much you have grown in the last 5 years." And that's exactly what happened. But unfortunately, Tam Nakano picked up the win when she applied the violet screwdriver, and just like that, they win. But however, Tam Nakano had a bit of a change of heart, and that heart, of course, decided instead of integrating into, of course, the lowers of the Cosmic Angels, they decided to treat them as equals instead. Let them keep the name Colors, but they will serve as, friends that could rely on for when the time comes. Of course, Unagi felt like it was a load of horse crap because she was looking for a minion. But Tam was not having it. But of course, this brought into a brighter spot for Waka, knowing that she's well aware, knows these girls from Colors very well. So basically, they became an allies. But even though this was a pivotal moment for the Cosmic Angels, however, this union between Colors and Cosmic Angels brought the attention of course, the Cosmic Angels' rivals, and that is, of course, DDM. They felt that they could not allow this to happen. So this resulted later on to have a what they would say a 12-person tag match between DDM and Cosmic Angels with Colors. But however, Tam Nakano had to deal with something from her past, and that is of course Natsupoi. Right, Natsupoi. Now, before Natsupoi became who she is in Stardom, she had a different name. She used her real name, which is Natsumi, but she used Maki as a last name. Now, of course, Natsupoi at the time knew Tam Nakano during their time in At Risk Girls. They were a bit of a tag team for a while, but of course, much like any relationship, you probably know how it's messed up for a man to call their ex girlfriend to call it off during via text. Well, Tam Nakano unfortunately had to be that person to tell Natsupoi that she was leaving At Risk Girls to pursue her dream elsewhere. And that's exactly what happened. But I don't think Natsupoi forgiven her for what she did. And that's when resulted when her, of course, to have a bit of a resentment towards her. Now, during the entirety of her career before joining Stardom, Natsupoi appeared in many promotions as an independent, and of course appearing in Tokyo Super Wrestling, but later joining DDM when she arrived in Stardom. However, of course, she could decide to bring out the rivalry when Tam Nakano won the white belt. Unfortunately, that match ended with Tam Nakano winning that match, and Tam made it clear that she was going to pursue her no matter what. And then she finally made that decision when she decided to Micah and Himika challenge for the artist belts, which resulted in winning. And that's exactly what happened. They were intending to break the Cosmic Angels record. Unfortunately, they were unable to do so. But however, of course, that was halted with the result of what's their names? Oedo Tai, consistent of Starlight Kid, Momo Watanabe, and Saki Kashima, degrading them. However, it was still unclear what was next for Natsupoi. But later, Natsupoi decided to reignite her rivalry towards Tam by saying things to her. So there was like a three-match series. The first one was a steel cage, which was a brutal match. I mean, Tam Nakano is no stranger when it comes to this type of brutality. I mean, she was involved in death matches long before she joined Stardom. But of course, that helped her out until she walked away with the win when she, in fact, climbed out of the cage and stepped foot outside of it, winning. However, Tam pleaded Natsupoi to not pursue this even further, but Natsupoi was not, in fact, having it. And then once again, in the second match, it was a straight up match that resulted, of course, Natsupoi not letting go her frustration towards Tam. Tam pleaded with her to let it go. However, she continued to do so. Then the rivalry escalated even further with attacks in the backstage and the press conference. But however, that's when things became clear that there was going to be the 10-man tag match featuring, of course, DDM, Julia, Micah, Himika, Shoot, Shooty, and of course, was it Shooty in it? No, oh yeah, Mai Sakurai, and of course, Natsupoi. But also features with the Cosmic Angels Tam, Mina, Shirakawa, and Unagi, along with Saki and Hikari Shimizu. Now, Waka did had a match earlier, but she might have resulted being injured. And as for, of course, uh, it was supposed to be a 12 person, but Tekla was injured during that time, but Yuko Sakurai was put in a dark match. But however, the match went into result towards the end where it fell into the shoulders of Tam against Julia and Natsupoi. However, this is where things got shocking. Natsupoi was about to super kick Tam's face, but instead she super kicked Julia, which people call it the biggest shocker of them all. No one expected this. Not even DDM. You can hear, of course, them calling her boy the entire time. And then, of course, Tam Nakano's super kick Julia resulted of Natsupoi doing a German suplex onto Julia, eliminating her out of the ring, then eliminating herself. But however, despite of the victory, Tam Nakano was a bit shocked, did not understand what was going on. However, Natsupoi made her decision on why she did it. Now, many people questioned that maybe she fell out of favor with Julia, that maybe Julia blamed her for the loss of the artist belt against Oedo Tai. Who knows? But Natsupoi felt throughout the entirety of her tenure with DDM that they were treating her like a pet. But of course, Himeka said that she would never treat her like that. But that's exactly what happened. So she wanted to succeed elsewhere. But Tam Nakano extended her hand, saying that they were going to build a revolution together, and that's exactly what she did. And then she officially joined the Cosmic Angels. But, however, certain things about it led into what we say jelly. There was jelly amongst the certain members within the Cosmic Angels. So let's talk about the Cosmic Angels with the recent lineup change as of right now. Now, Cosmic Angels, as you know, gained a new member, Natsupoi. So basically, she had to fit in. However, Waka Tsukiyama was unable to proceed with them in a 3-day tour in the northern side of Japan due to the fact that she was injured in that very event when Natsupoi turned her back on DDM. So it resulted of Tam, Mina, Natsupoi, and Unagi being part of it. They were very successful during the time, but however, the real question is where was this going to go? And of course, we did see, of course, Natsupoi and Tam Nakano were later been targeted by FWC, consistent of Azuki and Koguma, to put the goddesses belts on the line against them. And that's when they decided to do this during the time of the 5-star Grand Prix. Now, of course, only Tam, Mina, Unagi, Natsupoi, and Saki, who represented Cosmic Angels and Colors, were participating. But during success, they decided to proceed, of course, for these belts, and they resulted. Now, Tam Nakano admitted to people that she felt there's always been a curse with her when it comes to tag teams. She was unable to get the belts when it comes to get to teaming with Mayu or anybody else. Even of course with her and Oshiki were unsuccessful too. And Dream H never made it that far. But when it came with her and Natsupoi, that's when things changed. They showed their love for each other, their friendship that they can do this together, and they resulted winning the match, becoming goddesses of uh, goddesses tag champions. And of course, this resulted of Taichi so giving them their endorsement, knowing that this was an amazing match, and he stood by their side. But also, this resulted of Mina and Unagi becoming jealousy over the success of Natsupoi and Tam. Now, of course, Tam doesn't put people to the side, but the others felt that way. And that was also happening throughout the entirety of course, the 5-star Grand Prix. Unagi faced Tam in during the tournament, so did Natsupoi and Mina, because Mina, as you know, proceeded for the white belt, much like Natsupoi. And that's what happened. But however, in the 5-star Grand Prix, Tam Nakano was unsuccessful to win. She made it to the finals, but it resulted of her losing to Julia, breaking her heart, feeling like she did not reach her dreams. People will say that runner up is not a bad thing, but some people will say it is a bad thing, regardless. And that's exactly what happened. Now, however, after the 5-star Grand Prix, this is where things got a little very interesting. Stardom put out a press conference. There was one person that was not present there, and that is Unagi. People were going crazy, wondering what was going on. Unagi revealed herself that she was taking a break from Stardom, but it was resulted later on in real life that she was fired from the promotion. So she decided to pursue freelancing, as what she likes to call the Gian period, appearing in various promotions such as Marvelous, GTO, and wherever she goes and book. Not to mention, as you all know, I've been doing this Unagi Sayaka watch since that time. So if you guys should know, if you haven't seen those, check those out. I have them already. I just recently did one. But what does this result for, of course, the remaining members? Tam, Mina, Natsupoi, and Waka. Well, of course, Mina Shirakawa decided to make a pursuit for the white belt, which she did. She even pinned Sayakami Tani during the 5-star Grand Prix, resulting her to challenge for the belt, and she's been doing it since then. But unfortunately, that result, of course, of her being injured in November of 2022. If you guys remember, Sayakami Tani, in fact, botched the Phoenix Splash not once, but twice, and resulting of Mina having her face messed up, her teeth messed up. I mean, it was a horrific thing to watch. Even Tam remembered it very well. So Mina was out for about a couple of months. So this resulted of Tam, Natsupoi, and Waka continue on regardless. But towards the end, that's when things was becoming turmoil because Waka has been dealing with one particular person, and that person was Ram Kaicho. But during a match with Tam, Waka was unable to find wins until, of course, Ram questioned Tam Nakano's leadership, putting her in a tough spot. Now, we have seen leaders question their subordinates, but Tam was not amongst those who was capable of doing that. So she was giving her the result that she has to pick up a win no matter what. And this resulted of Tam giving an ultimatum uh, by Christmas, resulting of her realizing that she was pushing it too hard. But however, what about, of course, Mina Shirakawa? Well, that's when things came a very interesting moment. Mina came back, announced that she and Unagi were booked to take on DDM's Mai Sakurai and Tekla. It was still unclear what was going on. Now, during the match, of course, Mina won the match against DDM, but however, that's when things changed. Mina was not alone when she came around. She brought in two new friends, Zaya Brookside and, of course, Mariah May. Many of you know her with AEW. However, Mina decided to turn her back on Unagi, blaming her for her abandonment for leaving Stardom. But Unagi said that she didn't want to tell her because, she thought she would understand. This resulted, of course, of that friendship being broke. And then, of course, Natsupoi and Tam were lost the goddesses belts against Nana Takahashi and Yu when they won Tag League in that very year in 2022. But what did this mean from here on out? Well, we don't know. However, of course, Tam was focusing in trying to help of Waka to get her first win and putting her in a very, very bad position. And that's when things were becoming very interesting. Tam decided to help Waka to deal with Nana Takahashi, saying that if she's unable to win, then she will be leaving not only Cosmic Angels but Stardom due to the fact that she saw that Nana Takahashi will team up with her friend and someone many of you guys know too well, Kairi Sane. But the match itself between Tam and Waka, of course, it was interesting because you weren't sure this was going to be Waka's moment, and that's exactly what she did. The lovable underdog has picked up her first major win. And of course, she asked Tam if it was okay to, of course, remain with Cosmic Angels, and she did. However, Tam Nakano had other plans as well that she needed to do. Many of you guys know that she had a bit of a rivalry towards, of course, Julia. She always says that every time I defeat Julia and make her life miserable, somehow she was able to bounce back. Amongst them was the haircut when she beat her for the white belt. That was one of them. And now she's resolved to come after the red belt, but Julia was determined to destroy Cosmic Angels. And that's exactly what she did. She defeated them in an elimination match, resulting of her winning. But however, Mina made the decision to leave Cosmic Angels to make Club Venus as independent. But however, Tam Nakano's heart was shattered when Waka made the choice to leave, leaving Tam into despair and making sure that Julia's wish has come true. But however, a familiar figure from both Tam and Natsupo's past reemerged and saved their lives. Enter Sayuri Anu. Okay, Sayuri Anu, another wrestler from Tam and Natsupo's past during their At Risk Girls days. Sayuri Anu not only was a wrestler in At Risk Girl, but she also was a freelancer appearing in various promotions, such as, of course, Oz Academy, Ice Ribbon, and various locations. However, she has been appearing in Stardom before. She has been there before during a partnership between Stardom and At Risk Girls, where she met someone from her past. However, when Kairi was still in Stardom making appearances, she announced that she and Natsupo will be teaming up to challenge for the artist belts, and that's exactly what she did when they defeated, of course, prominence consistent of Zuzu Suzuki, um, Risa Serra, and Kurige Hagane, and resulted in Sayuri joining the fray, and that's exactly what happened. However, Sayuri Anu and Natsupoi, in fact, have a bit of a rivalry. So that's how things were resulted. But, however, during the entire time, when of course there was the moment where, of course, Julia, who also knows her too well, she was one of those people that was unsuccessful to defeat Saudi Anu. But Julia decided to stirred the pot by saying to Natsupoi, "Do you trust Sayuri Anu? She's a bit of a selfish individual." Now, many of you question why did Sayuri Anu decided to help the Cosmic Angels? Well, Sayuri Anu said that she could not stand seeing Tam cry, so she thought maybe her presence will help her stop, and that's exactly what she did. But when she and Natsupoi had a bit of an interesting loss, losing the artist belts to DDM, it resulted, of course, to have the both Saudi Anu and Natsupoi, in fact, fighting each other. It was decided by Rossi Ogawa to have a strap match, which, of course, is another brutal match. But however, of course, they had to deal with that a little later until they were introduced by another new member who made a decision she wants to join the Cosmic Angels because she fits right in with them. And that is, of course, Yuna Mizumori. Okay, Yuna Mizumori. She did not make her, many of you may have seen her before, long before she became part of the Stardom roster. She appeared in, of course, Choco Pro, or at the time was known as Got to Move. She made the choice to leave when she sided with Nana Takahashi to form the faction known as Neo Genesis, which is a group that feels that Neo Stardom, which of course it resulted of boycotting how Stardom has become. Alpha Female, someone who was the second Red Belt champion, criticized Rossi, so Yuna Mizumori was part of that group for a short time. But later on in her career, she made the choice to decided to jump ship and join the Cosmic Angels, which she did. Even Nana Takahashi gave her blessing to allow her to proceed her dreams, and of course it was not easy. One thing that Natsupoi and Tam can agree, they know she can dance, they know she's cute, but the one thing that they kind of agreed what's the problem was she needed to lose weight. So that's exactly what she's been doing. She's been losing weight ever since she joined, and she even put herself in a, how do I say, assessment if she's able to pull it off. However, sometimes she missed the mark on how many pounds she has to lose. So that's how it resulted. However, when she faced Tam, that was her final assessment, and that assessment allowed her to pick up the win, allowed her to become a member. But at the same time, they also celebrated the fact that Natsupoi and Sayuri Anu were able to bury the hatchet, knowing that no matter what, those two will always be rivals, no matter what. And there always will be the frenemies that they are. But however, throughout the entirety of 2023, that's when things were becoming interesting. Tam Nakano, as you know, was the red belt champion. She defended that belt proudly, but in result, she had to relinquish the belt after she got injured, defeating Natsuko Tora, but they weren't the only ones. Natsuko and Saru Anu, as you know, defeated Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May to win the tag belts. But much like Tam, Natsupoi also had to relinquish the tag team belts, which resulted in Natsupoi and Tam to take some time off, resulting leaving Sayuri Anu and Yuna Mizumori to hold the fort until the return. However, Tam Nakano was in the position outside the ring to continue on, regardless of how Natsupoi and Tam in. But when Tam made her return, things were becoming back to normal. Same thing with Natsupoi and Sayuri Anu. But however, many people question will they ever gain new members, resulting of Waka and Mina leaving, which was a huge blow. But of course, it was expected. That's when they introduced, of course, the current members of the Cosmic Angels, or I like to call them Young Kozen, consisting of Aya Sakura and Sayaka Kurata. So let's talk about them. Okay, Aya Sakura and Aya Sakura. Now these Sayaka Kurara. Now, however, These two ladies were the rookies that debuted in the same year but different timing. Aya Sakura made her debut on March of 2023, which was the same time when Waka Tsukiyama won her first match. Now, Waka was part of a batch of girls that debuted. It was her and Hanako. There was supposed to be a third one, Komomo Minami, but however, she is currently now with Marigold. But during the entirety, Aya Sakura had to deal with one person, and that person was her senior, Waka Tsukiyama. Now, I don't know exactly what gave Waka Tsukiyama the title of being the annoyance. And of course, Waka did not like that. She felt that you better show respect to your senior. But Aya Sakura was not having it. She feels that Waka has been selfish, only cared about herself. Who knows exactly? Even Tam was a bit curious about that. But however, things did not go well for Aya Sakura because in June or July of 2023, she ended up injured. Her partner and best friend Hanako continued on, but she went on by herself, teaming up with various people. She hasn't decided who she was going to join. And that's when, of course, another batch of rookies made their presence. Amongst them is Sayaka Kurara. She was joined by Rana Higami and Victoria Yuzuki, another batch of girls. However, of course, Victoria Yuzuki was the rising star of Stardom, who had her first match won under about a month, and that resulted of the jealousy of Hanako. But however, everybody were surprised what Yuzuki did. She requested to join Stars, but it resulted of the other rookies to decide where they're going to go from there. Hanako, of course, sided with Maika to form EXV with Mina and Waka. But as for Rani Agami, she joined God's Eye, but that led to, of course, Sayaka Kara. Now, throughout the entirety, many people presumed that, of course, Kurara was going to join Queen's Quest, but that's when she resulted of joining, of course, um, Cosmic Angels, and there's a reason to that. Many of you may not remember this. I've mentioned this a few times. Kurara was, in fact, an art student learning. One day when she was working, her boss purchased tickets for a Stardom event. However, Kurara purchased another ticket, which she attended the finals of the five-star Grand Prix back in 2022. And that match that she was inspired was the finals, and that was, of course, Tam Nakano and Julia. So it kind of led her inspiration of that match to result in. As for Aya Sakura, of course, she accidentally joined Stardom by accident. She was intending to audition for the Mayu Iwatani biopic, so she made the biggest mistake on that, but it worked out fine. But as for Kurara, well, much like what happened to Ina Mizumori, she volunteered to become, of course, the assessment, the tropical judgment. So that was it. However, in, in the spring of 2024, that's when things become interesting. Aya Sakura made her return. She teamed up with Hanako one last time, taking on Mai Sakurai and Sayaka Kurara. However, of course, Mai Sakurai picked up the win on that match. Sakura, in fact, told Kurara that she was going to join the Cosmic Angels, resulting like, what the hell? Of course, Hanako was a bit more like, what the fudge? I think the result that she might have thought she would join EXV, but remember, she has her disdain taste towards Waka, so that it would explain it. But you ask yourselves, why would she join Cosmic Angels? There's a reason why. I had a feeling during the time that she was going to make that choice, but Sakura made it clear that, of course, she always felt that joining Cosmic Angels was the right choice for her, even if Kurara did join. But the real problem was who's if they were going to take in the rookies. Well, it kind of did. Um, Yuna Mizumori stepped up to take care of them, and that's exactly what she did. But however, that match between those two ended in a disaster in a time limit draw, leaving Tam, Saori Ano, and Natsupoi dissatisfied. So, for their final assessment, Tam, Natsupoi, and Saori Ano teamed up to take on Yuna Mizumori and Sayaka Kurara and Aya Sakura in a six-woman tag match. And of course, that match was in fact an amazing match. It showed how much Yuna has put a lot of effort to be in a very stable team with both Kurara and Sakura. But unfortunately, Mizumori ended up on the wrong side of the violent screwdriver. And just like that, Tam, Sayuri Anu, and Natsupoi won. But the real question is, was Kurara and Sakura in or out? Well, the result, they were in. So, officially, they were part of the group. And of course, many of you saw that Tam Nakano, she gave the same kind of affection that she gave to Waka to Kurara. So basically, she became like a mother figure. And of course, Kurara has teamed up with Tam many times. So let's talk about the current success since they joined all the way to now. Okay, the six, the Cosmic Angels in their current lineup, consistent of Tam Nakano, Natsupoi, Sayuri Anu, Yuna Mizumori, Aya Sakura, and Sayaka Kurara. Many people have often said that this was the best unit so far in this lineup, and I have to say I agree in every way. Tam Nakano, as you probably remember, she is determined to win back the red belt. Yuna Mizumori, Natsupoi, her biggest dream is to win the white belt, but however, Anu won that belt by the end of 2023, but eventually lost the belt against Sendai Girls Mika Iwata, but it resulted in her winning also back the belt and the Sendai Girls World Championship. But one thing led to another, of course. We did see, of course, the Cosmic Angels core members, the current one, Anu, Natsupoi, and Tam winning the artist belts. But unfortunately, of course, we have seen the rookies, Sayakura and Aya Sakura, did challenge for the future belt, unsuccessful. Same thing with the new belts. But we've seen how much they've grown. Kurara actually has the flawless spears we've seen. She took out Tam many times over with that. Sakura applies like these high kicks, which was very amazing as well. Yuzu Mizumori has stepped up to improve on her wrestling craft, which she did. Not to mention picking up a new move called the TP, the Tropical Sunshine, which she has the person on their shoulders and drop them flat on their stomach on the mat floor. But however, Natsupoi, Tam, and Sutan won the artist belts, but they even won their individual belts. Natsupoi defeated Sairi Anu for the white belt, but it resulted, of course, for Anu to remain as the Sendai Girls World Champion. But Tam Nakano won the red belt when she defeated Natsuko Tora in a match that people say was stupid for Natsuko Tora to put out the fact that she did not win the belt. However, Tam Nakano defended the red belt proudly until she met her once former student and now went to the dark side, Sayaka Mitani. However, of course, everybody were losing their belts. Saudi Anu lost the Sendai Girls World Championship to Mika Iwata, but she remained as the artist champion along with Tam and Natsupoi. But by, of course, 20 by the in Dream Queendom, Natsupoi lost the white belt towards Starlight Kid, and Tam lost the belt to Saya Kamitani as a result of getting for Kamitani getting revenge for blaming her for breaking her elbow back in 2023. But of course, that wasn't done. But however, things have not did not end well for any. Well, things did turn for the best. Tam Nakano fulfilled one of her goals is for Cosmic Angels to win the Best Unit award for Stardom, and that's exactly what she did. However, in the result of losing the red belt, she was seeing what Saya Kamitani was making a mockery. So Kamitani said that she will give her another opportunity, but the only way she's going to earn it is she ends up in a tag match. So she put Kurara on the spot, saying that if she wins, she takes Kurara. And Tam, if she wins, she gets the title match. But she's been playing the sick game, saying that Kurara will be a perfect fit to be her, of course, her slave, doing all her dirty work. But Tam does not like what she's been seeing her to do. However, Tam Nakano was able to pick up the win, but this is where things got a little interesting. Tam Nakano, of course, put herself in a position if the loser leaves Stardom. So we don't know what the outcome's gonna be. This was the scariest thing in fact, of course, to understand. We don't know how this was gonna work. But the president, Taru Okada, made it clear that they will take full responsibility for what happens in the outcome. So hopefully they end up to their bargain. So we'll see. So I think that's pretty much it. I hope everybody enjoys and understand the Cosmic Angels, what they have gone through, their ups and downs, their heartbreaks, their friendship, their love, everything. And that's why I always say they are the ultimate underdogs. They would persevere against anything that stand in their way. But the real question is, can they pull it off? Can Tam defeat Sayaka Mitani and save Stardom from the delusional Sayaka Mitani? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. And that anticipation is killing me. So for now, let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this video. Before I go, I decided I'm going to do a little video montage using the Cosmic Angels theme by throwing some pics of them from the past all the way to the present. So hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll end it from there. Until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.